Good morning, class. Today we come back to our lesson after the puja holidays, and we begin this topic, guest cycle. And I think I've taught you this a bit about guest cycles in class 11 also, but we will do slightly more in detail in class 12, and we will look into the steps, that is the seen in a guest cycle. We begin with pre-arrival, that is before the guests arrive in the hotel, what all bookings they do, then their arrival, how they are treated on arrival, then during the procedure of the stay, duration of the stay, and finally departure. Excuse me. So let us look into this. So we find that the stages of a guest cycle are 4 stages. Pre-arrival, even before the guest has arrived, the first stage begins, pre-arrival. That is, the guests may book into a hotel. Reservation is done, which is again a very important part because the recommendations of the guest, his choice, all this has to be kept in mind. And we find that these pre-arrival is mostly dependent on advertisements done by hotels. Advertisements, online reviews, recommendations from family and friends, previous experience, he may have come and stayed in the same hotel of reputation, location, contractual agreement, many companies have agreement with the hotel. So all these are taken into account when he books or when he does a reservation in a particular hotel. Once a hotel has been chosen, the guest, who could be or he or she could be doing it, the reservation personally or through a secretary or spouse or travel agent, and then the request is received by the hotel, by the reservation staff, and they efficiently and carry it out according to the request as to what sort of room is preferred by the guests. Before confirming a reservation, the hotel may ask for a credit card guarantee or an advance deposit to reserve. In case of high occupancy periods, guests are requested to pay retention charges. A certain amount of money is taken from the guest if it is heavily booked. This is to ensure minimum loss to the hotel in case of any last moment cancellations. And once the extension charges have been paid, the room is blocked for a particular guest. And then in this case, they can also, during the process of reservation, make for some additional requests like a wheelchair, a barrier-free room, airport or railway station transfer, extra bed, etc. Then, followed by this, after the reservation procedure is over, the arrival, on the day of the arrival, we find that the guest for the first time comes face to face with the hotel staff at the lobby, in the lobby. And here what we find, this is a very critical stage, as guests make it first on the arrival for the first time. That is when the opinion about the hotel is created. So high standards and services have to be maintained by the hotel in the front desk and can provide them. During this phase, guests are greeted by the front desk staff and the registration process begins. They are asked to verify the details. Then they are asked to give some form of information about themselves like Aadhaar card, etc. These are generated from the information received from the pre-arrival stage. The registration activity is actually an agreement between the hotel and the guest, whereby the hotel offers the accommodation, product and services to the guests. And the guest agrees to pay for the service received. A hotel might pre-register in case it is a VIP, group of tourists coming to that hotel, airlines, cruise, etc. Once the guest has registered with the hotel, they are given a particular room according to their choice, which has been negotiated according to the room rent. The guest is then directed to the room and the luggage is carried by the bellboy. And if any mail or messages have arrived before the guest has arrived at the hotel, that will be passed on to the person. So at the reception, sometimes if it is like a cricket team or visiting dignitaries, then they may be welcomed with the traditional way. Like in India, they are welcomed with garlands, tikas, and a welcome drink, whatever is the policy of the hotel. Then registration of the guest takes place, handling the room key to the guest, luggage handling by the bell desk, then delivering the mail messages. Once that is done, the arrival procedure is completed. After that, we move on to the third stage, that is in the guest cycle, that is stay. During the duration of stay in the hotel, the guest gets a first-hand experience of the facilities and services which are being offered. These services and facilities, what we find, are very important for the guest to experience so that he may make a recommendation or repeatedly come to the same hotel. An excellent level of service would lead to the satisfaction of the guest, which would make him or her come back to the hotel again and again. So a positive feedback is very important, which depends on the facilities the guest is able to get during his stay. The front office is the interface between the guest and other departments at the hotel. So they have to coordinate with each other. And it should be a smooth functioning of the front office, which is very important, along with the other departments, to make a comfortable stay for a guest in the hotel. The stay phase is the most important phase in the guest cycle because the guest would interact with the hotel staff, regarding intercity traveling, history of the city or hotel. So the front office should be able to handle everything that the guest would like to know. In case of any lapse in service, the front office staff must apologize and be courteous to the guest. So during the guest stay, the main function of the front office is to handle the guest accounts, message coordination, that is whatever messages they receive from the guests should be passed on to the different departments, key handling, accepting the room key when the guest goes out of the hotel premises and returning the same to him when he comes back. Some hotels also issue a key card to the guest at the time of accepting the key and asks the guest to present the key card in the time of collecting the room key. Guest mail delivery. Accepting mails of guests and delivering the same to them. When the guest is not in the room, the front desk receives the mail, keeps it in the room key rack and delivers it when the guest comes back. Guest paging is also done, that is locating the guest in a specific area of the hotel if he or she is not in the room and they have got some guests who have arrived at the hotel. So the hotel staff will look for the guests, and this is called as paging. Safety deposit lockers may be available in the hotel so that they can keep their valuables. Then guest room change. Sometimes after the guest has checked into a particular room, he or she may not like the room and would like to change the room according to their necessity. Like if the room is located close to an elevator, or if it's in a no smoking zone, so which could be a problem for the guest. So he may ask for another room and needs to be shifted there. But before shifting to the next room, the housekeeping staff has to keep in mind that everything is laid out according to the norms of the hotel. And Sometimes they may change to a higher price band or a lower price band. So all this details must be there in the front office desk. Then handling guest queries and complaints during his stay, that is, communication needs to be done. Then information about the hotel, providing information to guests about the products and services offered by the hotel. Information about the city, providing information regarding restaurants, bar, public offices, travel arrangements. All this is done during the guest's stay in the particular hotel. Now we move on to the last step, that is departure and post-departure. The maximum goes, that the saying goes, that is, all's well that ends well. So the front office should try to cover up any unpleasant episodes during a guest stay by ensuring a smooth and hassle-free departure for the guest. During the checkout, guests settle their accounts for making payments using a pre-established mode, which may be whatever form of payment they would like to do. So this settlement is done in the front office, either through credit card, cash, travel agency voucher, bills of companies, etc. So this has to be prepared by the front desk cashier. The guest bill has to be ready just before his departure. The settlement of the guest account is also to be done. The folio balance may be in credit or debit. If the guest folio is in debit, then the required amount of money to be received from the guest to make the balance zero. Luggage handling by the bell desk has to be done. Then left luggage, sometimes a guest may leave, but may leave behind the luggage in the hotel. So there should be a cloak room in which the extra luggage of the guest can be kept for a short period of time, and he can take it after he has finished his work. Then sales and marketing activity for future reservations may take place. The front desk may ask the guests that whether they would, many a times for business purposes, whether they would like to make a reservation in future. And finally, a good farewell needs to be given to the guests. A polite farewell has to be given to the guests. And he should be updated about the facilities once again that is available in the hotel and the different room tariffs. So these are the 4 stages that we find in a guest cycle. Now we move on to the next topic, that is property management system. So what is this property management system? Now today we find that computers are available in every office. In the same manner, they are used in different purposes in a hotel also. The first use of the computer in a hotel is in the front desk, where computers have softwares called the property management system, and they keep a tally of the total check-ins, guest accounts, checkouts, etc. And we find that the system collaborates or is in touch with the PMS, that is the POS, that is a point of sale system, and generates bills for meals and drinks which are consumed by the guests in different restaurants in a hotel. The third use is the computer is in the sales office, which is the booking terminal, where the reservations are made. So the property management system uses a computer for 3 purposes. Once again, that is to record all check-ins, accounts, checkouts. Then it is that is, every big hotel has different restaurants. So the guests who are in-house, that is, who are staying in the hotel, may not be making a payment every time they dine in the different restaurants. So what is done is, the total accounts are sent to the front desk, which is called, through the computer, which is called the point of sale system. And the front desk keeps a complete record of the total expenses or the total money that needs to be collected from an in-house guest who's staying in the hotel. And we find that there's a sales office also, which uses the computer as a booking terminal. So the property management system application, let's have a quick look, is used for reservation purpose, to create and manage guest reservations for individual groups. It can provide the room status, date of arrival, date of departure, type of guest rooms that are entered in the system. It can color code the room status by using different colors, like its sold out days and days on which the occupancy is less. They can also offer, they can show that they are offering a discounted rate. It can display room availability status. It can attach guest messages to relevant reservations. It can create group blocks and room lists for standard groups. It can create special group rates. When a group of people come to a hotel, then definitely they ask for a discount. It can use the rooming list feature for rapid reservation pickup. It can define a share with reservation group bookings. It can post an advance deposit on a room. So all the facilities or all the work to be done by a reservation desk can be handled by the computer. Then there is a front desk module also, or a software which is fed into the computer and is used in the front desk. The front desk module generally manages the registrations, and it accesses guest information easily and quickly for viewing, modifications or check-in procedures. It displays a graphical room layout with the room status information. It tracks the entire guest activity for the length of stay. It prints registration cards. It attaches individuals, group, company or travel agent informations. So this is the main task of the computer or the software in the front desk. Followed by that, we have the rooms module. The rooms module allows the staff to manage the hotel rooms and floor plans. That is, it displays the complete layout, showing a single floor or a wing in a time, and shows how to reduce the size, facilitate change in the display of the floor plans, and this is mainly helpful to the housekeeping desks. It provides latest room status information to both housekeeping and front office departments. It schedules maintenance work for rooms, automatically adjusts room inventory, schedules linen change. It tracks discrepancies in the room status. Then we come to the cashier module in a computer. The cashier module is used to manage guest folios, bills, and perform checkouts procedure. It adds incidental folios and moves charges between folios with one click. It locates any account by entering the room number or name. It manages all aspects of the guest folio, including debit, credit, adjustments, transfers. It allows the attachment of unlimited folios to each guest account. Then we come to the night audit module. This is used to balance the day's activity and complete the hotel's accounting functions for the day, the night module in a computer. And then we move on to the setup module, which is used to define system settings for customize. It specifies mandatory fields for required information and adds custom information and forms. It customizes according to the market source and rate codes, and can also define text for field selections. Then the reporting module has various reporting formats which allows the management to retrieve operating or financial information at any point of time. And lastly, the back office module. which provides the integrated system for managing the hotel's financial and statistical information. So this in general is the introduction to the property management system, which is how the work in a hotel has been computerized at every step, so that each desk can be in contact with the other desk or department. Thank you. That's all for today. We'll continue more in our next class.